So yeah, have some cutesy looking chemtrails in the sky today. I can't really show them because they're on the other side. Look at that. It's all just pretty, pretty, pretty. Just the pretty, pretty. Oh, look how pretty. It's just pretty clouds. It's just what clouds do. It's just pretty things that clouds do. I posted this video today on Facebook. And it's funny I forgot about it. I don't know what made me think of it this morning. But as an avid collector of other people's junk, I believe I was at a garage sale one time. I wish I could remember where I got it from. But from what I'm told, it's an urn. It's brass, I think. Maybe it's Indian. I don't know. But I've always thought it depicted a creation story. Look at that. Like this was blue sky. You understand? This was blue sky, and then they sprayed it away. They sprayed a bunch of shit in the air, and now we have cloud cover. See, look. See those lines over there? Those lines over there eventually become a big clumpy mess. See that? See those lines? See how you can see the transition into these? See how that works? Shh, don't worry about it. You're stupid. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're stupid. Oh, look. That just appeared. Literally, that cloud rolled into the way. And that's how it's reflecting the sunlight. You know, like a normal cloud would. What the fuck? There's the sun. There's the cloud. What makes that happen again? I'm curious. It's the ice crystals in the clouds that sometimes do that shit. I can't believe that just appeared in front of me. That is some... To me, that shit's telling. To me, I see that, and it not only telling it's I want to know. It's like that's what the fuck. And the idea that, like, my biggest thing with chemtrails and just sky sort of cloud anomalies like this, I always have to ask, where are the paintings? 1700s, 1600s, blah, 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 1514. You know, back in the day when they didn't have much to paint but the sky, but the scenery, you know. And then, like, crazy shit, too. But isn't that strange? You gotta have that scrimp. If you're not strong out in these streets, if you don't have that scrimp, you'll get scrubbed. Wait. Look at that. Just makes total sense. Doesn't it, though? Right. So, Brad, I call it sun. Oh. Can't really continue the expose because we're driving the other way today. What do you say? Oh, look at over there. Oh, yay, oh, yay. Like, none of that shit is real. None of that shit is just normal clouds. Every single bit of this is manufactured, was put there. Look at, I mean, these are the little the explosion things where they go in all the direct. They explode like bombs or fireworks or whatever. They have multiple ways of dispersing it, no doubt. Look at all that. And then it just happens to make that little rainbow midget. Can we see the rainbow midget? Oh, rainbow midget's gone. Rainbow midget's gone. No more clouds to make the rainbow midgets. Well, that was weird. I love when people get mad at them. If you're not driving fast enough, and we're on a 2-lane road, I'm gonna pass you, a 4-lane road. You have 2 lanes going in the same direction. I think they don't have to stay behind you, weirdo. Hey, I gotta go take care of something. Can you watch my daughter? Look at that. Wow. It's just normal. It's just normal. Normal, natural. Nothing to see here, people. Nothing to see here. You may hurt me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, 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 bye. The idea of chemtrails, what's it about? Is it the idea of people being lied to by officials, or a real thing that's Google able? What chemtrails? I mean, I guess the explanation is going to come in the form of it's going to require more of you than you're. Good strawberries. I'm gonna eat them all. So, chemtrails. It's really interesting, right? Because all you need to do, really, put in, it's a Google machine, chemtrails. Chemtrails over the country club lyrics. I guess that's a song. But if you put chemtrails into the Google machine, I won't be able to track the conversation. Fair enough. Here for entertainment value. Okay, whatever. So, chemtrail conspiracy theory, Wikipedia. Oops. Wikipedia, chemtrail conspiracy theory, chemtrail conspiracy theory. So if you put chemtrails into Google, the first thing that pops up is chemtrail conspiracy theory. And I really think it's important that you pay attention to how this is presented to you, okay? Oh. All right. So, because I'm crazy, right? That's the narrative, that you're crazy if you notice that sometimes the planes leave big giant streaks that turn into huge clouds and whatever. That makes you crazy. Okay. It's really important to pay attention here. Pay attention to how it's presented. Exactly. Listen. The chemtrail conspiracy theory is the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually chemtrails consisting of chemical or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public. First sentence. Second sentence. Believers in this conspiracy theory say that while normal contrails dissipate relatively quickly, contrails that linger must contain additional substances. Seems like it makes sense, right? Third sentence. Third sentence on the chemtrail conspiracy theory, the erroneous chemtrail conspiracy theory Wikipedia page. Those who subscribe to the theory speculate that the purpose of the chemical release may be solar radiation management, weather modification, psychological manipulation, human population control, biological or chemical warfare, or testing of biological or chemical agents on a population. Okay, so go back here. Okay. I'm going to click on solar radiation management. Obviously, I've already been here before. This is the first thing they give. Third sentence, first example. Solar radiation modification or solar radiation management or sunlight reflective methods or solar geoengineering is a group of large-scale approaches to limit global warming by increasing the amount of sunlight, solar radiation, that is reflected away from the Earth and back into space. First sentence. Second sentence. Among the potential methods stratospheric aerosol injection is the most studied, followed by marine cloud brightening. Okay, that's the second sentence. So let's look up the first one that it gives us, which is stratospheric aerosol injection. Stratospheric aerosol injection is a proposed method of solar engineering or solar radiation modification to reduce global warming. This would introduce aerosols into the stratosphere to create a cooling effect via global dimming and increasing albedo, I don't know what it's called, which occurs naturally from volcanic winter. It appears that stratospheric aerosol injection at a moderate intensity could counter most changes to temperature and precipitation, take effect rapidly, and have a low direct implementation cost, and be reversible in its direct climate effects. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change concludes that it, quote, is the most researched solar geoengineering method that could limit warming to below, because we have to fight for global warming is this huge big deal, right? Because the global temperature has gone up 1.5 degrees Celsius. However, like other solar engineering approaches, stratospheric aerosol injection would do so imperfectly, and other effects are possible, particularly if used in a suboptimal manner. Proposed methods. We'll do proposed methods. Various forms of sulfur were proposed as injected substances, as this is part how volcanic eruptions cool the planet. Precursor gas. Oh, delivery. Let's go to delivery. Various techniques have been proposed for delivering the aerosol or precursor gases. The required altitude to enter the stratosphere is at a height of the troposphere, which varies from 6 miles, 36,000 feet at the poles, to 11 miles, 58,000 feet at the equator. First one, civilian aircraft, including Boeing 747-400 and Gulfstream G556 or 550 and 650, could be modified to at a relatively low cost to deliver significant amounts of required material, according to one study. Military aircraft, such as the F-15C variant and the F-15 Eagle, have the necessary flying ceiling, but limited payload. Modified artillery, blah, blah, injection system. The latitude and distribution of injector locations has been discussed by various authors. Here, let's go back a little bit, right? Solar radiation modification. I'm going to go to the second one real quick. Marine cloud brightening. Marine cloud brightening, also known as marine cloud seeding or marine cloud engineering, may be a way to make stratocumulus clouds over the sea brighter, thus reflecting more sunlight back into space in order to limit global warming. So, good morning. I had to take my car for an inspection. Glad to be here. That's just crappy writing. Well, this is crappy writing, but this is what you're supposed to know. If you say, oh shit, my friend was talking about chemtrails, I want to look this up. And you go look up your Google machine. This is what the Google machine is going to tell you. This is the information you are supposed to believe, no question, 100% of the time. And that's, crappy writing changed by many people with bogus ideas. Maybe, no, that's sort of that's the narrative that you think. You think that the like that Wikipedia is this free range, anybody can say anything kind of thing, but it's not. Even on the things that you can. Okay, so first of all, there's people like me who. Let's see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna click on edit. Edit. What the fuck? Oh. Blocked by Amanda NP. Block will expire in 10 months. See details. Wow, they literally changed. Since I started showing you guys this stuff, they've changed it. I mean, you guys understand that it's changed. It's been changed. It used to say more. But basically, apparently my page has been blocked. Or my region has been blocked here. I guess I'll pull it up and read it. See details. You can search by block or audio block ID by putting blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what I wanted to see. It won't even show me anything anymore. It doesn't even show me. I don't know what happens when you guys do it. Like, this is fucking crazy. So I click on edit, and then I click see details. And it gives me this bullshit. Find blocked user. That's not what I wanted. Details about my block. So then I want to see more. See more gives me nothing. See more butts. Look at that. Edit. Blocked by a man. See more. Nothing comes up. Try to edit the see details. Details brings me this. That's some fucking crazy shit. It used to give a whole bunch of details, bullshit details. This has been blocked. This address may be blocked due to this region. My whole region. It wasn't me. I wasn't blocked. I never got blocked by YouTube. By Wiki. But so if you're having to be someone like me who's blocked regionally, or even you, if you can edit it, your edit won't stay there. The machine, the system, it alerts the headquarters, the whatever, that an edit's been made, and then real people will go look and see if your edit makes any sense, and if it doesn't, then they remove it. Too bad they're not real. Yeah, they're not real. They're not real. I mean, this is just the stupid shit that cowards and bots, these are bots. But there's nothing, it's solar radiation management. It's what they do. The history of it's even crazier. What do we got? Solar radiation management. During the administration of U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson, the president's Science Advisory Committee delivered "Restoring the Quality of Our Environment," the first report which warned of harmful effects of carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel usage. To counteract global warming, the report mentioned deliberately bringing out countervailing climatic changes, including raising the albedo or reflectivity of the Earth. See, this one isn't as informative as marine cloud brightening. At least as it used to be. They have fucking changed this. Here, let's look up cloud seeding. So here, because it's not real, right? It's just there's just the animations and the diagrams on how they do it. That they drop things into plane, they drop it from planes, or they release it from machines on the ground. But this is the history of it. Here you go. Because it's not real, right? Here's the history of cloud seeding. The Breach 18 used dry ice for cloud seeding in the early post-war era U.S. The Lockheed 18 cloud seeding from Wagga Airport in 1958 in Australia. The T-28A Trojan Rainmaker in 1960. The Curtiss P-40 Rainmaker in 1964, now in Yanks Air Museum. The Curtiss P-40N N1232N Weather Modification Company cloud seeding. Harvard Hail Defense 1964, and Cessna 210 with the modifications on it. Cessna Skymaster 2015 in Israel. And the Alpha Jet 2014 in Monaco. See, it's funny how, again, it's not like anybody's going to come here from any sort of intelligent or scientific point of view. And it's not like I'm just sitting here making this shit up. I'm showing you. This is the stuff you're supposed to. Apparently, in the 60s, from the 50s to 60s, especially 1964, multiple planes were made for cloud seeding purposes. Now, if you think in 1964 they were capable of cloud seeding, but here in 2025, we just forgot it like we forget everything else. It's interesting, huh? Who is in control of the giant space laser? There is no giant space laser. They're just fucking planes that can fly really high. But none of that is knowledge, though. It's just a bunch of crap-a-doodle. That makes sense. That's a good argument. At least he's brave enough to be a crackhead. Yep, that's what it is. See, again, when stupid people can't, engage in stuff, they go to desperate measures. Like, let's just say I was smoking crack all day long. Just smoking the crack. How would that change that Wikipedia has this entry on seeding that explains everything going on? Like this is just, it's just fucking stupid. Cloud seeding is a type of weather modification that aims to change the amount or type of precipitation, mitigate hail, or disperse fog. The usual objective is to increase rain or snow, either for its own sake or to prevent precipitation from occurring in days afterward. What part of this doesn't make sense to you? I don't understand this. And I'm unsure of the presentation's purpose, but the theorists believe don't harmonize with the truth. Low green, through green. Unless we've been lied to, which I can't assume it, right? Regarding the why, what makes you believe we're told the truth? I mean, it's really dumb. Our system has been caught lying to us so many fucking times. But why would you think the Jays that run our system would tell us the truth? Their literal, like, their Talmud, their rule book flat out says they don't tell us the truth. Doesn't matter what we think. I was in a submarine yesterday. How do you explain that? You're a liar? Pretty simple. I just love the idea of people in submarines looking through the YouTube and find where somebody better not be saying submarines don't. I'll show them. All right. So it's funny how when I start like really showing you guys the sources, the information, the evidence that you crave so badly, suddenly you don't want to talk about this. Now you want to try talking about something else again. Gosh, that's funny. Good old Tartaria, melted cities. Who knows? Cloud seeding is undertaken by dispersing substances into the air that serve as cloud condensation or ice nuclei. Common agents include silver iodide, potassium iodide, and dry ice, with hygroscopic materials like table salt, gaining popularity due to their availability to attract moisture. Yeah, let's just drop a bunch of salt into the air. Huh. Sure, that's good for skin. Techniques vary for Techniques vary from static seeding, which encourages ice particle formulation in supercooled clouds to increase precipitation, to dynamic seeding, designed to enhance convective cloud development through the release of latent heat. Methods of dispersion include aircraft and ground-based generators, with newer approaches involving drones, delivering electric charges to stimulate rainfall, or infrared laser pulses aimed at inducing particle formation. Despite decades of research and application, cloud seeding's effectiveness remains a subject of debate among scientists, with studies offering mixed results on its impact on precipitation enhancement. Yet we still do it. Go watch parts 1 through 9. Get the fuck out of here. Let's uncreate mental illness chat. What's our plan? Well, you can't really stop people from saying things. And really, every time somebody doesn't, like, refuses to address what you're talking about, starts changing the subject or talking about something else, or oh, I love it. This is how the planets were formed, according to the J. Everything just condenses. Oh shit. Listen. Yep. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Relative. So we're moving at a car at about 60. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But even the slightest deviation, even the slightest turn, the slightest move of the wheel, the slightest anything, when you're in a car, and you can feel it. You can feel it. Oh, that's hilarious. I got distracted by this dumb nonsense. This is the dumb nonsense. So the reason why we can't feel everything is because we're moving at the exact same speed, just like the air around the planet spinning is spinning at the exact same. Now we're gonna go into some Tartaria. Uh huh. This guy's very believable with his spiked haircut. Oh, uh huh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that just makes total sense. It doesn't. It's so fucking silly. And this is the same. Look at. Why do they always show us these dumbass animations? Why don't we just see real pictures? And you not so believable in your J haircut. Yeah. Oh, okay. What kind of dumb ass nonsense is this? Like this is the best that's gonna come my way right now. Come on. All right. Da, da, da. Environmental and health impacts are considered minimal due to the practice has a long history with initial experiments dating back to the 40s and has been used for various purposes, including agricultural benefits, water supply augmentation, and event planning. Right? Because you can call certain companies if you're rich enough and ensure that there won't be any clouds on your wedding day. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? So let's go to history, right? I always just find this hilarious. In 1891, Louis Gaffman suggested shooting liquid carbon dioxide into rain clouds to cause them to rain. Carbon dioxide doesn't exist in a liquid form. It has to be under insane pressure for it to exist in liquid form. And as soon as it hits the normalized, it turns into a gas. It goes from solid straight to gas. That's why dry ice does what it does, because it carbon dioxide doesn't turn into liquid. So that's 1891. In 1891, I love like thinking about this. This is uh, prior to power tools, long before airplanes. He's he's talking about shooting it, and it it has to. How did they pressurize gases back in 1891? How could they have pressurized carbon dioxide into a liquid form back then? What tech were they using? Couldn't get to it. I mean, think about how stupid that is. 1891, and what about life in 1891 would make anybody think we could even do something like that? And of course, it's Louis Gathman. Gathman. Just ask yourself about it. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself how. Okay, so now we just jumped 40 years. During the 30s, Bergeron Findison, the Bergeron-Findison process theorized that supercooled water droplets present while ice crystals are released into rain clouds would cause rain. You know, that supercooling. Supercooled water droplets. When did refrigeration first exist? While researching aircraft icing, General Electric, GE's, Vincent Schaefer and Irving Langmuir confirmed this theory. Fuck yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing that somebody could theorize it like that, and then they go in and hey, it was actually a thing. That random guy's theorization, that random thing that somebody came up with at some point out in the middle of somewhere else, back before we have computers and ways to talk to each other like that, that shit makes all the sense. Science. Remember the pyramids. Very unsolved thus far. Science always supreme. I don't even know what that means. Science is not supreme. Science is just another cult. It's exactly like religion. Understand that the thing you believe in more than most, gravity is the key to blah, blah, blah. It's the theory of gravity. Just like it's the germ theory that you believe in that gets you sick. It's not actual, it's not a fact. It's not factual that germs get you sick. And for all of existence prior to the 1880s, when everything changed everywhere, they believed in something called miasma. And miasma it's translated as bad air, that things in the air can make you sick. Whether it's dead stuff, whether it's rotten stuff, whether it's chemicals, whatever. But it wasn't invisible germs invading your body, little intelligent creatures. The funny thing about both germs and gravity is that you don't realize like how intelligent you have, like, gravity or germs have to be. They have to be intelligent, sentient beings. Like gravity has to be an intelligent, sentient force, and germs have to be intelligent, sentient beings. And it's like, again, your ignorance is the key to all of this, because none of you actually know all of this. There's going to be a bunch of arrogance that comes through and a bunch of people pretending like they know stuff. Like Pikachu guy. I'm sure Pikachu guy knows all about germ theory, the theory of gravity, where all that stuff came from, why we think that. I'm sure he knows all about that. Like, it's amazing how ignorance and arrogance go together, and they create this really ugly personality. This really ugly, like I don't know it, so you shouldn't either kind of personality. It is just fascinating, right? Like, okay, so Schaefer discovered the principle of cloud seeding in July 1946 through a series of serendipitous events. That just worked out that way. He just accidentally discovered it. Following ideas he had and Langmuir generated while climbing Mount Washington in New Hampshire, Schaefer, Langmuir's research assistant, created a way of experimenting with supercooled clouds using a deep freeze unit of potential agents to stimulate ice growth, i.e. table salt, talcum powder, soils, dust, and various chemical agents with minor effect. I mean, they sure are yada yadaing, leaving out a bunch of shit, and then telling us it didn't really work anyway. So you see this in just about every narrative where somebody will have proposed it, somebody will have thought of it, something came up with the same idea 100 years earlier, and yet it was like nobody went with that idea. It was like, oh, that's a dumb idea. And yet somehow somebody wrote it down, this failure of an idea that nobody went with. I'm thinking of the canal in Greece, the Corinth Canal, I think it was called. And they were talking about how, like, 100 years before it was actually started, somebody in like, 200, or not even 200. What was it? I think it was BC, actually. In like 700 BC, somebody thought to do this, and they decided against it. So 100 years later, like, do you not get how stupid that is? You're supposed to call me stupid for asking the questions, but you believe such stupid things without asking questions. And it's really kind of, it's like you can see how it all works. That's a fucking clown. Why would anybody come onto my feed and be like, I want you to talk about something else? Unless you have something, you're like, hey, check this out, this is cool. But like, why do you like my voice and my presentation so much that you want to hear me talk about other things, but you don't want to hear me talk about this thing that you can't block, you can't debunk, you can't anything. So what makes us sick? Bill Nye? Definitely not little individual germs. So I guess we have to pause here real quick. So let's talk about what all of you believe, right? Yes, I call you stupid without asking questions. Do you realize, like, the reason you're even here is because of me asking questions, trying to figure it out, inviting you to debunk what I'm saying. You say something stupid, so I call you stupid. Like, it's not like I'm just like walking up to you on the street and saying something. No, the only reason I think you're stupid is because your presentation is stupid. You present as a stupid person. Look at your responses. But anyway, let's talk about what everyone believes, right? Every single one of you believes that one day, patient zero, Joe the plumber, just walking along when suddenly COVID sauce, COVID flu, whatever it may be, just manifests inside of his body. Just appears. And now this person is patient zero. And as he walks around and he's coughing and sneezing, he becomes this biological weapon, right? Where every cough, he coughs out a cloud of, it's almost like this color, but it's light green with little red speckles in it, but it's also invisible. He coughs that out. Now, if he's in a room with still air, the cloud just sits there. And it just waits for somebody else to come walking through it. Do. And when you breathe in, these self-replicating, super intelligent germs invade your body. And oh my God, they go up your nose. Now you get sick. However, if you're in a room that has circulated air, the sneeze can go 60 feet. My 90-year-old neighbor used to tell me. So you could just be sitting in the restaurant, pulling your mask down to take your bite real quick. And in that time that you pull your mask down, the guy across the restaurant sneezed. You didn't notice it, but the air sent that cloud, self-replicating germ cloud, around the restaurant. As it got to you, You pulled down your mask, it ran up your nose and got you sick. The other thing you believe is that patient zero is also his mouth coughing and sneezing. This is spewing COVID sauce everywhere. Everywhere. Invisible, self-replicating COVID sauce. If you cough here, well, that's safe, right? Everything's safe. If you cough here, oh my God, everybody's in danger. If you cough here, grandma will live to a ripe old age. If you cough here, grandma gonna die. You cough on your hand, now you have COVID sauce all over your hand. And it's self-replicating, right? And as you go around and you say, use the pen at the doctor's office, you touch the door handle, as you're walking, your hand brushes against the wall. Anything you touch now has COVID sauce all over it. And that COVID sauce, again, is self-replicating. Now, this is the crazy part about these amazing germs. They're amazing, right? Patient zero's body temperature is 8.6 degrees average. The thing that manifested itself in the liquid, wet, 98.6 degree environment can also survive outside that environment. And it's not like cold and flu season is during this time when it's hot, humid. No. It's usually just before the real cold, but when the temperature goes from the 80s and 90s down to the 50s and 40s. That's when cold season really starts to kick in. So goes from the 98 degree base camp sitting on the ground or sitting on the table or sitting on the pen, the door, or whatever. And that base camp is continuously self-replicating and just waiting. It just waits. And then if somebody happens to come walking by and his hand brushes across that same swath that's on the wall or the door handle or the pen or whatever, the COVID sauce is now on his hand. It knows, oh, somebody's there, somebody's touching us, jump, get on his hand, and now it's stuck to the hand. Now, if you, Joe the plumber number 2, go and wash your hands, well, then the germs all go down the drain. And they die. But if you don't wash your hands and you happen to take your face, pick your nose like we all do when no one's looking, get something out of your tooth, something like that, the COVID sauce knows. And it jumps off of your hand and it goes up into your nose and into your mouth and it gets you sick and you get the sickness. You're invaded by these germs. Unless you have a strong immune system. Now, if I ask any of you to point to your immune system, you're going to go, You know that your immune system are these they're white, of course. It's the white ninjas, the white blood cells. They're like ninjas that wait at the doorway. And if any of these germs come in, they kick the shit out of the germs if it's strong enough. Now, you can give your immune system a steroid injection, which now they're like, fuck yeah, yeah. But that's not actually how it works. You think that's how it works. You get this idea, booster. You get a booster. Well, it's not really what they're doing. What they're doing is injecting you with the thing you're supposed to be scared of, a quote dead version of it, or inactive. It's alive. There's two types. There's the live ones and the dead ones. We get both. But you get the thing you're supposed to be worried about in a weaker form, so your body learns how to defend against it. Is the supposed theory behind it? You're not getting like, it's not like I just took some vitamin C and now I feel better kind of. No, it's not like that. Matter of fact, a lot of times you actually get really sick after you get injected with the sickness, which I just think is so weird. Why would that happen? Why would you, why would you get sick from getting injected with sickness? That's stupid. But you guys all believe this. You guys all believe it. You all believe that you shouldn't hug your grandparents and go see your loved ones and all that, because we are all these disgusting fucking walking disease factories. They had the audacity to call it a disease many, many times. You ever notice that? Yeah. They kept calling it a disease. Yeah. A disease? I heard that many times.
Come on, you scaredy cat. My antisocial.
He's a fat guy. He's like a fucking 800 pound. He's an 800 pound fat guy.
All three of the others came up to her. He hid under the bed.
Who gives a shit? I couldn't care less. This is like the same stupidity that you believe is why the earth is round, or why you believe in Jesus, or you believe in germs and stuff like that. It's the same system telling you that. Again, this is the germ theory. They don't tell you it's a fucking fact. This is the facts of germs and how, it's not like that. In Jesus' name, fuck Jesus. Jesus is dumb. How do you fall for such obvious dumb nonsense? It's like you believing, I don't know, Netanyahu is equal to your president, so they should both have their own podiums and shit. Oh wait, you believe that shit. My bad. But understand, the same narrative that tells you to believe that is also is the cloud seeding shit. So back to it. Then on July 14th, 1946, he wanted to try a few experiments at GE's Schenectady Research Lab. Now, remember, this guy was climbing Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Like, this is the 1940s when travel was apparently easy to do. He was dismayed to find that the deep freezer was not cold enough to produce a cloud using breath air. He decided to move the process along by adding a chunk of dry ice just to lower the temperature of his experimental chamber. Now, it's interesting. Click on dry ice. Dry ice is a solid form of carbon dioxide. It is commonly used for temporary. It does not have a liquid state at normal atmospheric pressure, and sublimes directly from the solid state to the gas state. It is used primarily as a cooling agent, blah, 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 blah. History. Let's see the history. Isn't this interesting how I need to protect my butt? Oh, jeez, I hope nobody's coming after my butt. Ew. I don't even wipe, so that's going to be a nasty thing for you. Okay, well, I wipe before I poop to save time.
That's so gross.
What? No, it makes sense. It is generally accepted. I love it. It's generally accepted that dry ice was first observed in 1835 by French inventor Adrien Jean Pierre Theorie, 1790 to 1844. It's 14 years before he died. Who published the first account of the substance. In his experiments, he noted that when opening the lid of a large cylinder containing liquid carbon dioxide, most of the carbon dioxide quickly evaporated. This left only solid dry ice in the container. You're telling me that people had the ability to create liquid carbon dioxide and keep it in containers for any time prior to this guy looking in the container and being like, hey, what's this thing? Let's see what it says about liquid carbon. Well, wait. This left only solid dry ice in the container in 1924. This is 100 years later. Thomas B. Slade applied for a U.S. patent to sell dry ice commercially. Subsequently, he became the first to make dry ice successfully as an industry. Not going to tell us how. Oh, we do find the manufacturer. Okay. In 1925, this solid form of CO2 was trademarked by the Dry Ice Corporation of America as dry ice, leading to its common name. That same year, the Dry Ice Company sold the substance commercially for the first time, making it for refrigeration purposes. Manufacture. Dry ice is easily manufactured. The most common industrial method of manufacturing dry ice starts with a gas having a high concentration of carbon dioxide. Such gases can be a byproduct of another process, such as producing ammonia from nitrogen and natural gas, or oil refinery activities, or large-scale fermentation. Second, the carbon dioxide-rich gas is pressurized and refrigerated until it liquefies. How did they refrigerate it before they had the refrigeration?
In the ground.
Yeah. Is pressurized and refrigerated until it liquefies. Next, the pressure is reduced. When this occurs, some liquid carbon dioxide vaporizes, causing a rapid lowering of temperature of the remaining liquid. As a result, the extreme cold causes the liquid to solidify into snow-like consistency. Finally, the snow-like solid carbon dioxide is compressed into small pellets or larger blocks of dry ice. That literally that's not an explanation. Like, it's a bad one. Like, does anybody think they could go make some dry ice right now? I guess, any of you that happen to be producing ammonia from nitrogen and natural gas, oil refinery activities, or any large-scale fermentation, any of you that have any of those operations going on, can I get some of your byproduct gas that I can then refrigerate until it turns into a liquid form after I pressurize it? How do you think they were in the 1930s? Do you guys get this? Like, this is where, again, even if you're a dumb J troll, how like knowledge isn't fascinating to you? It is sort of beyond me, especially with the arrogance you have and thinking you're the smartest people in the world and all this other shit. Shouldn't this make more sense than it does? What was the refrigeration process used back in the 1830s? You'd think you dumb Jays would have any sort of fucking information to give. That's what would kill my arguments. I understand. I actually see through the religion BS. If it is the narrative that puts them on top, that alone made me question everything I thought I knew. Well, there you go. I mean, that's how it should start. I don't know. I don't know how else to get people to get it. Like I don't know what to show you. I've scoured the fucking internet. I've been doing this for a long time, trying to find that thing I can show you that makes you just have like normal common sense. Dry ice is typically produced in three standard forms: large blocks, small half or 5/8 inch diameter, cylindrical pellets, and tiny 1/8 inch diameter cylindrical high surface to volume pellets that float on oil or water and do not stick to skin because of their high radii of curvature. Tiny dry ice pellets are used primarily for dry ice blasting, quick freezing, firefighting, oil solidifying, and have been found to be safe for experimentation by middle school students wearing appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses. A standard block weighing approximately 30 kg, 66 pounds, covered in a taped paper wrapping, is most common. These are commonly used in shipping because they sublime relatively slowly due to the low ratio of surface area to volume. Pellets are around 1 centimeter in diameter and can be bagged easily. This form is suited for small scale use, for example, at grocery stores and laboratories where it is stored in a thick insulated chest. Density of the pellets is 60 to 70% of the density of blocks. Dry ice is also produced as a byproduct of cryogenic air separation, an industry primarily concerned with manufacturing extremely cold liquids such as liquid nitrogen and liquid oxygen. In this process, carbon dioxide liquefies or freezes at a far higher temperature compared to that needed to liquefy nitrogen and oxygen. The carbon dioxide must be removed during the process to prevent dry ice from fouling the experiment, and once separated, can be processed into commercial dry ice in a manner similar to that described above. Think about that shit, man. Separating the gases out of the air. How do you do that? How do you separate carbon dioxide from oxygen from nitrogen? How do you do that? How do I take that air, bag it, and then separate all of the components into different pieces, I guess? Epistemology, third picture down, last card. Whatever. So, I did want to do this real quick before we go any further. I told you I bought this. I think it's an urn at a garage sale many years ago. Look at all of this. Who made this? How did they make this? All these individual lines and stuff. I mean, the brass, it had to be malleable for them to be able to carve into it like this. And they just carved every square inch. I don't have the lid of it.
They probably heated it and stamped it, is my guess.
Yeah, well, again, that'd be one hell of a stamp. It absolutely does not. None of the lines are the straight.
But when you do a stamp like that, they're not always.
No, I mean you can tell they're hand lines. You can see, like, look, it's not like. I disagree. And then the ornate detail in the. So I don't know what this is. I think it's a creation story being depicted on this thing. But you guys tell me. Okay. So this is the part where I always start. I start with the small pictures. So the first one depicts some sort of duck-billed multi-armed being with a halo of other things around it. And look at all these tiny little circles. Again, nobody's stamping that. Stamps are they using for this? Okay, so then it sort of transforms into this thing, which is kind of like that standard like mother of nature picture, you know, where like it's coming out of the plant. She has her arms out, got her head down to the right. And it seems like this weird thing that that weird thing that Egyptians always hold on to, that thing that's in the hands, seems to be right there. Again, you have her with her halo and whatnot. I mean, I assume it's a her, which turns into a a snake, a mermaid of some sort. I'm not really sure. A serpent type character with the long tail coming out. And then this thing seems to have, come down into the hand and it's looking at it, whatever that thing is. And again, this could be the end of the narrative for all I know. I don't know. Because then it turns into this. Maybe this is the start. I don't know. But this person, I don't know. I don't know what they're holding. I really have no idea how to interpret this thing. Right? But it then morphs into this, which seemingly has like an evil face, an evil but happy face. Look at that. Eye, nose, it's looking this way at this thing. I mean, maybe these are like, I don't know. But there's that thing again, that weird wheelish looking thing. I'm not real sure. And all these other things, and then this middle one seems to be pretty prominent. Seems to be separating itself from the other ones. And then suddenly it turns into this, which looks like aliens to me. Like, are these sunglasses? Are these sunglasses on their big noses? And look at their ornamental dress. Multiple heads behind them, or are those stars? I'm not really sure. Because now we get this thing where we clearly have the serpent. And this person now 2 arms, no longer all those arms, but the middle one is very prominent, and it's even a cross, it looks like. But not a cross, it's just more like a plus symbol. And it looks like the stars are coming out of their hands. I don't know if those are stars or flowers. But then it turns into maybe a duel. Not really sure. It seems to be coming together to form something. This side, like they're coming together, and in the middle, the energy is formed. Again, I'm not really sure. This is the original creature. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Each one has the significant middle thing, and what are they holding? I don't know. And then it turns into this, where this guy seemingly has some sort of horn or something that's literally shooting these things out. And I don't know what he has in this hand. But look at this. I mean, it just doesn't make what's happening. It seems like it's like pushing out the universe behind it. Stars and like, is this a planet? What is this thing? And then it goes back to these two who have now come together. They're sitting down. They're about to unify. They have their hands touching each other. Heads are down, looking at whatever they're about to sort of clasp together or something. Or maybe they pulled it apart. I don't know. But this is the next thing, and now suddenly these stars are coming out. Whatever these are, maybe they're the seeds of life. I don't know. All right. And then suddenly you have this. This is the end. or it's the beginning, or it's just another middle picture. I don't know, but you have this weird dog-faced looking being. You know, like the Egyptians have those dog-faced beings, big columns, and and it's seemingly coming out of a plant. I don't know. What do you guys think of that shit? Isn't this weird?
So I have some. So as of March 7th, all 50 states, the District of Columbia, and 5 territories are Real ID compliant and issue Real ID compliant driver's licenses and IDs. If you do not have a Real ID card, you need a passport to fly anywhere within the United States now. As
Well,
of
because we're in
today.
so much danger from the fucking terrorists.
My gay friend, he's from Austria, so whatever. He's got passports. He's got all this shit. He flies all over the place. He just got back from Spain. He's in Pennsylvania, and he went to get on a plane today because he flew into Pennsylvania the other day. Went to get on a plane today to leave Pennsylvania, and had he not had his passport, he would not have been able to leave. And that fucked up to fly to California from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean, it's. What do you think everybody's been telling you? Smart cities. Myrtle Beach is now just burning. Myrtle Beach, another city they had a planned smart city for, and suddenly it just catches fire in the weirdest way. And it's not even really being talked about that much. And the thing is, what do? They have all of the people who are like actively opposing the system, who think that we're being lied to, truthers and so on. What are we doing? We're looking for Tartaria. We're arguing about Jesus. Which Sky Daddy's the right one? Do you guys get it? It's all about the satellite readings and outer space and the blah, blah, blah. All of it. It's all arguing about the shape of the Earth. Earth shape is not only one of the more common, it's such a divisive one. People are ending relationships over that shit. Or think about how many religions cults exist, that if you no longer want to be part of the cult, you no longer believe it doesn't speak to you and blah, 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 none of your family, friends, or anything is allowed to talk to you ever again. Unless you happen to come back in. Do you guys not get it? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they do that? Is that to encourage us to explore and become the best us as we can be? Or is that to keep us believing shit long past the point where we don't? So we're not asked out, so you don't get Guy Williams. Just like Hawaii, North Carolina, South Carolina more recently. It's crazy all these natural fires are happening so close together suddenly. Totally not a coincidence. So it's interesting, and this is what I always, this is what's interesting to me, is like how everybody sees bits and pieces. Everybody can see how, well, these fires aren't what they're telling us, or or you don't believe in the God that's pushed on you like crazy, or you don't believe in the government bullshit you're given, or whatever. All elections are all rigged and all this other shit, right? We all say these things. But it's like this weird arrogance that's been put on us that we go, yes, the system that tells me all of my information, I can tell when they're lying about stuff, and I can tell when they're telling the truth. Right? You don't just assume it's all a lie. You assume that the things that are the lies, you're going to be smart enough, aware enough to just see it without even having any sort of instruction, or you'll see it. You'll see it. And the stuff that you do see, that when you try talking about it or you see somebody talking about it, they get attacked. You go, I shouldn't bring that one up. They aren't natural, man-made. No, of course. So at what point do you say, okay, if they, whoever you have assumed they are willing to lie to you about the fires, and in doing so, they have somehow, because people always say, oh, well, you can't, somebody would know, and you can't get the small group to control the large group, and you know, oh, so what? All of the news and all of the science and all the everything and blah, blah. And you go, no, no, no. Most of it is that way, but you can clearly look and find alternative resources. You can do that with this thing. So where do you draw the line? What makes you draw the line at the J's? Do you have evidence? Not necessarily Matt, I'm just saying anybody. Do you have evidence to the contrary that it's not a J control scheme? When you deny it like you do, arrogantly deny it, is there any reason why you're doing it other than you're supposed to, I guess? I don't think people think about it this deeply. That's the problem. It's not that we're stupid, because I think if given the opportunity, if encouraged to think that way, most people will come to the same conclusions. Like, yeah, I guess that is kind of foolish of me to just assume I know which things are true and which things aren't in a system that is continuously caught lying to us. I don't, so I can't disagree. I can't disprove you. I don't think I don't think deeply or in the right context. Yeah, but you're starting to. And the thing about it is, it's one of those, once you see it, you can't unsee it things. First of all, it's not even, we're not talking about intelligence here. This has nothing to do with your abundance or lack thereof intelligence, It's not like that. It's about how you've been programmed to think. Because once a deviation to that program is introduced in a way that that corrupts the program, it spreads. It spreads, and you start seeing more and more and more. It's not a light switch. I mean, the initial thing is maybe a light switch, but everything, it's going to take time. Hinner shits. Yeah, this guy, this longtime troll is back to being completely confused because he can't understand English. Interesting how that works, huh? Again, part of it is trying to convince you that it's too much for you to understand. Part of it is trying to convince you that you, the dumb goyim, is too stupid to fucking figure it out. And by making you stupid in every way, it bleeds into it. It's part of the program. When you believe stupid things, you believe you're stupid, whether you'll acknowledge it or not. You know what you believe in is fucking stupid, and you still believe in it anyway. That corrupts you. That's that it's corrupting your program. Either it's part of the program, part of the corruption of your goyim program, your good goyim program. That genetic programming. Without their corruption, you wouldn't grow up the way you are. If you didn't grow up in whatever Western society you grew up in, you wouldn't believe the way you do. You wouldn't come to the conclusions you've come to. You wouldn't believe in the Jesus. You wouldn't believe in the earth being round. You wouldn't believe in any of that shit. Not your goddamn horoscopes and all. None of it. You only believe that shit because you've been told to believe it and then applied it in ways that make you feel good. Oh, this is the peak of technology. This is the episode. I wish I would have been paying attention more. This is the telescope out in the middle of the. Hang on. The cold doesn't affect the telescope. Neither does all the snow. It doesn't get affected by any of that snow. You ever tried looking through binoculars and having them like focus and unfocus on things as things fly in front of the view? Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Totally. Totally makes sense. The gases from the sun particles mixing with the earth gases. Oh. Oh, look at, we're moving forward. Who knows? Oh, whatever they want to tell us, I guess. Hey, Muzz, what'd you say? Not a troll. Just point out how much you rely on.
Look what's next.
That's a fucking round ass planet.
He is an astronaut. That's the space episode. That's so perfect for you.
I just point out how much you rely on Google because Google never lies. Do you remember me ever saying, if I search it on Google, it's 100% true? Think hard.
I'm thinking.
Think hard.
I'm trying to go back.
Well, no, you shouldn't have to go back that far. Should be really relatively recently, right?
No,
I didn't say it today.
No.
Could have sworn I said it today.
No, I don't. I have heard you say that you frequently refer to Wikipedia because that's what they want us to know.
Yeah, that's completely different, though, isn't it? Yeah, that's not the same thing as saying everything is true. That's a completely different thing, right?
But that's the only thing that's coming to my head at the moment.
Huh.
Sorry.
Must be lying.
I suck.
Must be lying. It's what they want us to know. This is me not going off of Alex Jones. Me not going off of whoever you want to throw at me. I don't want to give the argument. That's how a lot of this started, was literally doing what I wish you guys would do to me. You know? Adapting, reacting, addressing the point. You know, I got sick of people saying, "Oh, where'd you learn that? A YouTube video, 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 YouTube video." So I just thought, okay, well, what can I do that will, outsmart you? And started watching the news. Watched the repeat news from the night before, the morning news, and then it would switch to like the CBS morning show, global news, blah blah blah. And I watched that till 9, or till 8. It was either till 8 or till 9, I can't remember. And then from 9 to 10, I'd watch the 700 Club. Why? So I could get the information from sources that people would, they couldn't say it's just some dumb truther on online. But then COVID hit, and after about 6 months of 95% COVID stories, the rest of it would be like Trump bullshit. couldn't take it anymore, so I stopped watching the news. But at that point, I felt uninformed. I felt like at that point I was just sort of talking. So I decided that I would start reading the news, but I didn't know where to read. What news should I read? And in uh, previous attempts at figuring things out, I'd come across Israeli news several times, or just looked it up periodically. You know, at one point I figured out if something here happens and it's crazy, go look at Israel news, because usually whatever here that's happening that's so crazy and has your attention is actually covering up for something that is coincidentally happening in Israel, or in Palestine, that's totally fucked up. And you're just not supposed to be paying attention to it. And it got to the point where, you know, April, May, June, somewhere around there of 2023, I don't remember the exact time, but I told you guys that if Israel doesn't do what it did on October 7th, a totally false flag operation where no Israelis were killed or taken hostage, and then it jumpstarts a genocide. If that exact thing didn't happen by December of 2023, I would quit doing this altogether. And when it happened, it was like the worst I told you so ever. People reaching out to me. Holy shit, dude, you were right. Blah, blah, blah. You've been saying this for months. Blah, blah, blah. And it once that happened, what am I gonna do now? Going and reading the news every day at that point just became me reading about how Israel, and I know I'm missing lots of good stories, lots of good information, but I just don't feel like I need it anymore. It's like I don't feel like I need any more evidence of chemtrails. I don't know why anybody needs evidence of chemtrails. Just go outside and look. Yeah. You know, it's the same thing with everything. Like, I have come to this place where I feel like I'm at the pinnacle of the argument. And it doesn't matter what distraction you want to talk about. Be it politics, be it pedophilia, be it chemtrails, be it earth shape, be it vax. But, oh, look! It's the J! It's the J! It's Hoffman! It's the J astronaut! Well, then it must be true. It must be true. No stars. The thin little blue line of the atmosphere. He should be looking up and to the right if he's recalling memory. And then you die. You die. You die. This is our Earth, huh? What water? Where was that? Very, very thin layer. Keep saying very, very thin layer of atmosphere. Thing is, this must have been made before science changed its mind. And now the atmosphere encompasses the moon. The moon is actually within the Earth's atmosphere. That's what they say now. Because the idea of them traveling to the moon, once they break the atmosphere and the Earth is traveling at 67,000 miles per hour around the sun, well, the Earth should have left that puny little rocket behind. But it didn't. I want to bring down on the thought programs of how we speak between one another. Oh, yeah? How'd that thing get there? That looks real, doesn't it?
We can see how the whole Earth is doing. And in some ways, because we're so
Candy Coleman.
there's places that look the same.
Look, do you think that's the Earth for real? You believe that shit? Oh my God! Did you see that picture?
It was the Earth.
And we didn't know until Sunday morning that had been on Sunday. And I thought, I just
You think that's real?
Yeah, oh yeah, that looks real.
Totally looks real, huh?
everybody
Notice how they only show pictures for like, 3-5 seconds. So you can't really focus on anything too much. Oh yeah, that's totally real. That's just, what is that? Oh Jesus, look at this guy. I don't want to hear anything this fucking guy has to say. If you woke up today and you were like, I gotta put on my stupid hat because I'm David Beaver. Look at that. The Earth is that round, huh? Oh, and now it's round, 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 flat. Round, 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 flat.
That's just the curve of
That's just
the lens.
the fisheye lens, right?
Look at his hat.
Oh,
His
look
hat
at
matches the curve of the Earth.
Look at it. Seems weird. Oh, is this?
Hurtling through the universe at a high rate of speed. So, in a real sense, all of us are astronauts. Just don't realize it.
Yep. Because that's all real. You understand? I shouldn't be able to do that. I shouldn't be able to look at what they say to me and be like, that's stupid. Come on. You should look at it and be like, holy fuck. That looks crazy. Yeah, clearly that's real. I shouldn't be able to sit there and point out a bunch of shit to you. I mean, it looks like bad cartoon. And the funny thing is, this episode by Steve Rothfeld was probably made. Let's see if they'll show it. Robbie Rothfeld. Rothfeld. Bill Watts. David Saya.
Martinkovich.
All the animations. All the animations. Robbie Rothfeld. The Martinkovich. These are. Where is this? Where's the water on that planet? Nope, no date on that. Well, it's at least 5 to 10 years old. It's pretty old at this point. Like I remember we've been seeing that episode now at least 5 years. It's been a long time. Let's see. What's the show called?
Is that Amazing Planet?
Yeah.
Exploration Planet?
Yeah, Amazing Planet.
I know, because there's 3 in a row and I get them all confused.
Philippe Cousteau. Amazing Planet.
Psycho.
Earth. Telescope. Telescope episode, I guess, because it's going to take me all over the place. If you're looking for information on the James Webb, I am. I didn't know I was looking for it, but I actually am, but I was looking for something else. Not showing me Nova. What the fuck? That seems weird. Amazing Planet TV series. Wait a minute, is this the right one? No. Ion. Oh, Awesome Planet. Exploration Awesome Planet TV show by this guy. Philippe Cousteau. Episode 101. His grandfather.
Oh, grandfather.
Yeah.
I always forget.
I know.
What did his dad do? Anything?
I don't know.
Animal thing skipped a generation.
Let's see.
His grandfather was brilliant. Just really ugly, skinny old dude.
We have no idea how brilliant his grandfather was.
I mean, when it came to, you know, the knowledge he spewed about animals.
What? No,
really
wait, what?
Educated
Wait.
society a
What?
lot
No.
as a whole.
Okay. Awesome Planet.
Having like 12 conversations with him. So.
Of course, I mean, it's not that I want to leave. I just figured at some point, no, you should. Good for you. Good for you. I never even had my own place.
Okay, so it's a documentary series. 2014, ran for 8 seasons. So 2022 is its latest season, but that wasn't from that. That was an earlier episode guide. Let's see. What? It's weird how hard it is to figure out this shit. See, and I get that this might be boring to some, but that's what research is. Sometimes it takes a minute. Season 2, Into the Desert, Water, Earth in Motion. Wasn't that it? Earth in Motion? Visit Mount St. Helens, where a movement caused Earth's crust.
No. No, this was all space. It wasn't.
Canadian Rockies. Yeah, Philippe canoes on the famous glacier-filled lake. Yeah, that's what we were watching. Canadian Rockies. So that was from 2015. So, when you look at the animation that they showed you in 2015, like, it's actually interesting to think, like if you look at Terminator 2, Terminator 2 is like the pinnacle, the very best seemingly we can do with blurring the line, like, you know, science fiction kind of bullshit, making things look real. The Terminators that come after that don't look nearly as real. There was that point in like the late 90s, maybe just the 90s itself, where we were just, the special effects we were capable of doing were just insane. No, I don't think it's the epitome. I don't think that was the right word. The epitome is like the example of it, but that's not the best of it. It's the example. That person is the epitome of a dumbass. That person is the epitome of an athlete. Something like that. They represent it completely, but that's not the very best of it. You know, you're not the best of a dumbass. So when you're looking at those, it's 2025, it's 10 years later. And you're looking at the shit you're supposed to believe is real. Sorry, it doesn't pass the smell test anymore. I look at that now with my TV that's from later than that episode was created. My TV has more pixels and shit than they were planning on being available. I shouldn't be able to do that shit, guys. Real pictures look real anytime you show them. It's real. You can tell it's real. So we looked up dry ice, right? And basically, dry ice comes from,
Your mom. Oh.
yeah, basically. I mean, it might as well. Liquid carbon dioxide is the state of carbon dioxide, which cannot occur under atmospheric pressure. It can only exist in a pressure above 5.1 ass to mouth. Low temperature carbon dioxide is commonly used in its solid form, commonly known as dry ice. Solid CO2 sublimes at minus 78 degrees Celsius to minus 104, or minus 78 degrees Celsius or minus 109 degrees Fahrenheit at Earth's atmospheric pressure. That is, it transitions directly from solid to gas without intermediate liquid stage. Now, if I tried to find the history of it, well, sorry, Charlie. There is no history of how that works. Liquid carbon dioxide is a type of liquid which is formed from highly compressed and cooled gaseous carbon dioxide. It does not form under atmospheric conditions. It only exists when the pressure is above 5.1 ass to mouth and the temperature is under 31.1 degrees Celsius or 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperature of critical point and above minus 56.6 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 69.9 degrees, 56.6 degrees Celsius or 69.9 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're saying if it was 70 degrees Fahrenheit, it wouldn't work. Or minus 70 degrees Fahrenheit, it wouldn't work. But at minus 69.9, it's all to the good. Does that sound believable to you? The chemical symbol remains the same as gaseous carbon dioxide. It is transparent and odorless, and the density of it is 1101 kgs per m to the third. When the liquid is at full saturation at minus 37 degrees Celsius, which is also minus 35 degrees Fahrenheit. How does minus 35 degrees Celsius equal minus 35 degrees Fahrenheit, but minus 56.6 degrees Celsius equals minus 69.9 degrees Fahrenheit? Why do they equal out at negative 35 degrees, I believe, or negative 32 degrees, whatever? No. Yeah, yep, that's what it is. I'm not smart enough to understand it, says somebody who comes here to troll. Gotcha. The solubility of water, solubility of water in carbon dioxide, water in liquid carbon dioxide is measured in a range of temperatures ranging from minus 29 degrees Celsius to 22.6 degrees Celsius or 72.7 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the pressure is measured in a range from 15 to 60 atmospheres. That's what the ATM is. The solubility turned out to be very low, from 0.02 to 0.1%. And that's it. You don't get a history of it. How do I find the history of how we got to the point where we could do this? I mean, it doesn't occur in nature. So how did we figure out how to do it? Imagine how many experiments had to take place. Like, okay, we're going to test this at 59.1. 59 point, okay, that didn't work. All right, now we'll try it at 59.2. Okay, that didn't work. Now we'll try it, like, like it's ridiculous. But this is like this is the problem with all of this stuff, right? When I go look up dry ice, I should see a very easy to understand story I should see, a narrative that makes sense, that it with details and with this, that, instead of, well, it's not really known how they did this. It's generally accepted. It's like those kind of things just shouldn't exist in these narratives like that. And that's one of those big issues. Like, that's where most of you just don't realize that, like, it's the theory of gravity. It's the theory of germs. Everything, like, I just can't, I hate saying it. But the truth is, the biblical narrative, as unbelievably dumb as it is, makes more sense than the scientific one. The whole Big Bang Theory thing is just fucking stupid. Like, it's insultingly stupid. I can't believe I ever fell for that shit. And I can't even necessarily say I ever 100% fell for it. It was just, given the two narratives, given the two choices, you either believe that Jesus, God did it, or science. And whatever science says, you have to accept it because you believe in science. So that was the way it worked. I definitely wasn't about to believe in that dumb Jesus nonsense. One day, God was kicking it in heaven. Sorry, I've been hungry. Have fun with whatever pictures you want. I encourage you to do them. There you go. My body hurts. So, even though I'm on all kinds of drugs, I'm going to take one Excedrin. Here, so you can see the numbers on it, because they might be my Vicodin in there, right? Oh, wait. Yeah, I carved my Vicodin to have the E for Excedrin on them. Because I'm good like that. I'm faking it and all, but I take these medications for the fun of it. Nothing like one Excedrin, boy. Woo-hoo. Talk about fucking ride to the stars, boy. Woo. All right. Now it's always interesting how we end up down these rabbit holes each day. Now, there's no plan. Don't go into it thinking this is... A lot of times I go into it thinking I want to talk about this. Usually it's just one thing, and then it doesn't last nearly as long as I want it to. And the reality is, like, again, I hear myself reading these things and talking about these things, and I feel dumb. I feel dumb that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not only talking about it, or not talking about Israel and the Jays, I'm also keeping you guys from talking about it. And that really does, that's really all that fucking matters right now. I must have torn something in here a while ago because it just, it like keeps flaring up. It's scary because you think, is that my heart? But it's not my heart. It's the muscle right here because I can literally, I can feel it like right in between these two ribs.
Put a little frankincense.
Put a little frankincense on your boo-boo. Put a little frankincense on your ouchie, man. Put a little frankincense to make yourself feel better. Put a little frankincense if you understand.
Yeah, you got a mark there.
Hmm?
You have a mark there.
It's probably been rubbing it. That's empty, basically.
It's still gold.
Put a little frankincense. Gravity isn't variable, so he wouldn't agree.
No, gravity is a constant. Or a fixed variable, if you will.
I don't even know what gravity is.
Do you?
Well, I mean, I know
Not you.
it's an invisible force that can't be proven in any way, and seemingly, like, it's just like the germs, right? So gravity has to be the most intelligent force in the universe. And it has to be sentient because gravity says, okay, we're in a vacuum, right? So everything can float all at once, but those big ass rocks, those need to go around the sun. Yeah. Go around the sun, exact same speed, exact same everything, no deviation to the route, no deviation to time, nothing. It moves so perfectly the things on it can't even feel it. And also, because I'm feeling kind of sassy, it also makes rocks revolve around the rocks, smaller rocks revolve around the rocks. And you know what? Fuck it. Ice balls. Ice balls can get caught in that, and I'm gonna make this ice. No, not that. No. That ice ball. It needs to come in an orbit like this and go way, way out for many, many years, and then come back. Yeah, that I'm gonna 75 years for that one. That. Yeah. It knows that Halley's Comet is on that exact gravity line. Nothing else is on that exact gravity line. But Halley's Comet is. And again, in a vacuum, gravity makes things revolve. Whether it's a perfectly, beautiful round orbit or spinning or whatever. Also does elliptical orbits and all these crazy directions and all this other shit. But once you get on top of one of those rocks, well, our rock, gravity has decided that we no longer revolve, we stick. But now this is the caveat here. We only stick, some of the time. And things like birds, things like cotton seeds, like gravity knows on the ball that's spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, you have to have X amount of pressure on all that bajillion, fagillion, fulfillion, babillion, mammillion gallons of water that's on Earth. You have to be able to keep that water from collecting in the middle and flying off. So, spiraling off, So, it knows exactly how much pressure to keep all of that water weight in its area, making waves and stuff. It's pretty. But it also knows that the cotton seed is to fly in the wind, going against the spin of the earth, too. Gravity knows. And the problem being, is that you're either too arrogant or too stupid to acknowledge that what I'm saying blows apart your argument. And what I'm saying also has to be 100% true. For your narrative to exist, gravity has to be super duper smart. The thing is, when it comes to gravity, what you describe as gravity, here on Earth at least, is easily explained by density and buoyancy. You know, the more dense something is, the heavier it is, blah, blah, blah. That's why things fall. If you have a balloon and it's filled with helium, enough balloons, you can pick shit up. Shit, all you got to do is heat up air to make hot air balloons fucking fly. You don't even need helium or anything. It's just air. Just warm air. You suddenly can defy gravity. Gravity has, 6 pounds per square inch or whatever they say of pressure being put on everything at all times. 747s, they can fly no problem. Big, giant fucking 747 full of people, full of all kinds of shit. It's flying around. Gravity's like, oh, okay, you're going to fly now? Gotcha, cool. If you don't fucking do it exactly right, you're going to fall down. But it has nothing to do with the weight of the plane and all that. It's because the gravity's pulling it down. It's fucking stupid. And your theories are his, yeah. They do to fall without gravity. Density is why it falls as fast or as slow as it does. You're dumb. Can you think of things you have no idea about in the universe is under no obligation to make sense to you? What? Like, these dumbass things people say to avoid saying the truth. You have to acknowledge to yourself that you think gravity is super intelligent. It is an intelligent, sentient being making decisions. It decides that the cottonseed can fly. And then eventually it's like, all right, time to pull you down now, show off. Come on, get down and plant yourself. Hello, he said flat earther to Justin. Who said flat earther? Again, look at how people have to be able, like they have to lie. They have to create their own argument so they have something to argue. It's not like I'm giving you enough fucking shit to talk about. No, you got to create your own shit. Well, he said, did I? It's weird I don't remember saying that. I specifically do not refer to myself as a flat earther. Because it creates stupidity. Like people then think you mean Earth is a frisbee flying around the sun while the other planets are round. Like people are that stupid. You know, it's but to me it's such a pointless argument. Such a pointless argument. Right? At the end of the day, we Goyim, we can't know. We can't know the truth about the shape of the earth, the effectiveness of the pokes, the history of Tartaria. No. We can't know about any of it until we, the Goyim, unify like they're unified. You know, they don't care if you molested a child, raped a child, They don't care if you caused, violence to occur. They don't care if you stole. As long as you didn't do it to another Jay and you're Jay, it's all good. Come on. Come to Israel. We got the law of return. You're allowed to return. You get your check. Everything's good.
You could just go. You don't need a real ID. You don't need a passport. You could just go. No special hoops. You don't even need a shot.
I mean, they got the visa waiver program 7 days before or 8 days before the fake fucking false flag bullshit. October 7th.
You know what time it is? 10:15. It's time for someone else to coordinate.
He believes it but doesn't want to admit it in the moment because he knows how stupid it is. Again, you guys talk to each other and like stroke each other off because you can't address what I'm saying. And you're stupid enough to think there's only two options. Either you believe it's a ball or you believe it's a frisbee. Like, it just... I appreciate it, man. I always appreciate the stupidity because it proves so much. If I was wrong about this shit, there would be... they would say so. They would address the things I'm wrong about. If I was wrong about gravity having to be this super intelligent force, then they would debunk what I'm saying. But you can't. It's just fucking silly, man. At some point you have to realize what's happening. You can only look into things so many times and just get turned around in circles and go, okay, well, you know what? The next best step is to go live and put it out there and see what people have to say. And, you realize, like, nobody from NASA is going to come in here and either A, agree that I'm right, or B, sit here and debunk what I'm saying. Strangely enough, all the submarine people will come in here. Everybody's whose grandpa and uncle worked on a sub, or they built subs, or plenty of those. We never have any NASA people coming through and explaining how gravity works. Let's see. In physics, gravity is a fundamental interaction primarily observed as a mutual attraction between all things that have mass. Oh, that's so stupid. And that's definitely not the answer you would have given. Gravity is, by far, the weakest of the four fundamental interactions, approximately 10 to the 38th times weaker than the strong interaction, and 10 to the 36 times weaker than the electromagnetic force, and 10 to the 29 times weaker than the weak interaction. So it's imperceptible. It doesn't exist. 10 to the, like, I wonder, are my bones 10 to the 38th times weaker than steel? I doubt it. 10 to the 38th? That's 10 with 38 zeros behind it. That's not a fathomable number. And we're saying that gravity, the thing that, keeps the planets revolving around the sun and the moons revolving around the planets and the comets that happen to get caught in that sun's gravity. Because remember, it's not like it goes, certain sizes and it sure, Mercury, then Venus, then Earth get bigger, but then Mars is smaller than Earth. And then you have your um, asteroid belt, which never gets fucking talked about anymore. But you have your asteroid belt. Then you have the gas giants, which Jupiter is supposed to be a small rocky core surrounded by a layer of liquid hydrogen, liquid metallic hydrogen, and then another layer of compressed hydrogen gas. I don't know. I know we always see what looks like a solid planet.
Built in 1891.
Of course it was.
It's on sale for $49,500 in Kentucky right now.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
It probably needs $5 million worth of work.
So? God damn, it doesn't. It looks busted up, but it doesn't look that bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. No, it needs.
But I would imagine you could find.
1891.
I mean, I just, the idea that, like, they're telling you, again, so think about it like this. Gravity, again, being intelligent. Gravity has to know to put X amount of force on Mercury, and then a little bit more force on Venus, because Venus is going to be bigger. And then a little bit more force on Earth. And then, which again, it's more force is going to have to be put on that thing, but it doesn't. That more force doesn't pull in the other planets. And how much force does gravity have to put on the comet, on Halley's Comet, to get it to go off 75 years away and come back? How much gravity is pulling on that bitch? It's flying at a bazillion miles per hour through space, and then it's like, I'm gonna come back this way now. Gravity has to be super intelligent. So not only is it the weakest of the forces, but it's the smartest of the forces, for fucking sure. 10 to the 38th time. 10 with 38 zeros behind it. I just wonder what else. Like, our atoms 10 to the 38th times smaller than a marijuana seed or some shit. Like, what else is 10 to the 38th times anything? Is a piece of hair 10 to the 38th times weaker than a piece of steel? I would assume that. But, what would I know? I know if you like Bianca Belair and shit, if you have her long ass hair braided together tightly, like, that shit is strong as fuck. And if you had Bianca Belair's hair and two other strips of Bianca Belair's hair, and you braided those together, you had the braids, and then you braided the braids together, now that's even stronger. And I don't think that's 10 to the 38 million strands of hair. You think we have 10 to the 38 million strands of hair in our body, on our heads? As a result, it has no significant influence at the level of subatomic particles. Oh, so that's why we can't see it. Because you would assume that it has, you would say, well, if mass attracts things, then if you had, some sort of object under microscope, you would see it attracting all sorts of subatomic particles to it. But because it's such a weak force, it doesn't affect things on a subatomic level. How convenient. However, gravity is the most significant interaction between objects at the macroscopic scale. Right, again, where we can't see it. And it determines the motion of planets stars, galaxies, and even light. The shapes of two massive galaxies in this image are distorted due to gravity. What? No, that's a picture of two galaxies.
Yep. No, it's not.
How do you even begin to take a picture of two galaxies? Like, do you know how big these things would have to be? But yeah, that's real. That is so super real. That is an official picture from the artist that looked at the infrared light that was provided by the computer infrared telescope, and then he deciphered it into that pretty picture somehow. Like, I love how even the stars like shine. There's those few
Yeah.
stars that like really
I like the
twinkle.
wispy that is
Yeah.
like the switch.
On Earth, gravity gives weight to physical objects. No, it doesn't. That is right there. You want to talk about fucking misinformation? Gravity gives weight to objects? No. No. The composition of the object is what gives it weight. If gravity gave weight to objects, then things the same size would be the same weight. Oh no, gravity pulls down harder on steel than it does on grass blades. So that's what makes steel heavier. Seriously. And the moon's gravity is responsible for sublunar tides in the ocean. Not on the large lakes and stuff like that. Not on the large bodies of water, or even on us. Like, I always thought, like, be a great experiment to do, right? If you're a high jumper, see if you can high jump higher on a full moon than you can on a no moon situation or whatever. Because you're 70% water, right? So you should be able to go higher theoretically. If that's the truth, if the moon's gravity affects things, then that should be a constant. High jumpers should be consistently like, I want to try, I'm going to set the record, but I'm going to do it tomorrow night. The corresponding antipodal tide is caused by the inertia of the Earth and the moon orbiting one another. How does it know? How does the oceans, how does the moon know to affect the oceans, but the corresponding antipodal tide is caused by the inertia of the Earth and the moon orbiting each other? Who decided that? Okay, you can affect the oceans, but we gotta do the antipodal shit together, okay? Okay, Earth, you get what you want. Gravity also has many important biological functions, helping to guide the growth of plants through the process of gravitopoism and influencing the circulation of fluids in multicellular organisms. Oh, get the fuck out of here. First of all, plants can grow upside down.
Yes, they do.
Secondly, you think gravity is affecting the circulation of fluids in your multicellular organisms? Then again, on full moons and shit, shouldn't we have better circulation? The gravitational attraction between the original gaseous matter in the universe caused it to coalesce and form stars. My favorite narrative. Form stars. Star formation. I just want to hear this. I want to hear this. is the process by which dense regions within molecular clouds in interstellar space, sometimes referred to as stellar nurseries or star forming regions, collapse and form stars. As a branch of astronomy, star formation includes the study of the interstellar medium, ISM, and giant molecular clouds, GMC. You think GMC trucks are like, they have like a dispute over that shit? Don't you call those GMC?
Yeah.
As precursors to the star formation process and the study of protostars and young stellar objects as its intermediate products. It is closely related to planet formation, of course it is. Another branch of astronomy, star formation theory, as well as accounting for the formation of a single star, must also account for the statistics of binary stars and the initial mass function. Most stars do not form in isolation, but as a part of a group of stars referred as clusters or stellar associations. You want to know the history of it? Listen to this history, sweetheart. The first stars were believed to be formed approximately 12 to 13 billion years ago, following the billion years ago.
Wow.
Following the Big Bang. Over intervals of time, stars have fused helium to form a series of chemical elements. The end.
How did they fuse them? Did they have
Shit.
guns?
Ship.
Like solder?
Ship.
This one. Super glue.
Stellar nurseries. Spiral galaxies like the Milky Way, because that's where we live. You know what? Let's reset and see what happens. Oh yeah, pedophiles, kill yourself.